name is Chris, and today I'll be walking you through the best practices for optimizing your images for your website. To start with, we'll go over the best file types for each of your images on your website. I prepared some files beforehand, so I'm going to open those with Photoshop, or the image editor of your choice. So you can see I've got a photograph of an apple, and kind of a piece of clip art of an apple. So we'll start with this apple image. The first thing to take note of, it's got no soft edges, no gradients, but it does have transparency, and we want to maintain this transparency on the website. So I'm going to open Save for Web. So you can see it started us off with JPEG, but as you can see, JPEGs do not support transparency. So I've selected a GIF. As you can see, this has a restricted color palette as opposed to the JPEGs. Because this image really doesn't have a lot of colors or a lot of blends, the restricted palette isn't an issue. You can see we still have nice crisp edges, everything looks really nice. So I'm going to save this GIF. Now let's look and see what our other options are for saving this image. So I've opened Save for Web again, and instead of a GIF, we're going to go with a PNG 8. This is another file format with a restricted color palette. And again, as you can see, because we've got no soft edges, no blurs, everything still looks really crisp and nice, and we still have our nice transparency. So I'll save this as well. So those are the two file formats best for things like transparent icons, or basically any kind of graphic that doesn't have soft edges, blurs. But let's say, for instance, you've got this same image you want on your website and you want to keep the transparency, but you also want to add a soft edge drop shadow. So we'll open Save for Web again. Now, you can see with our PNG 8 that even though we have transparency checked, it's got this kind of gross white halo around the shadow. This is because PNG 8s don't as strongly support alpha transparency. So if you were to put this image on any background other than a white background, you're going to have this weird halo effect. On a white background, no problem. GIFs are much the same. You can see I've chosen the highest amount of colors we can possibly use for this GIF, but we still have that white halo effect. We know a JPEG isn't the right answer for this image as it doesn't support transparency, which leaves our remaining option to be the PNG 24. PNG 24 is a lossless format, which means when you save it, no data is lost. It keeps everything, it doesn't compress it at all. The only issue with this is the file size. You can see down here 116K versus 37K for the PNG 8. But for this application, a PNG 24 is the best option. And don't worry about that file size too much because I'm going to show you how to compress these even further. But for now, we'll save this. So let's say you have an image with lots of blends, soft shadows, and you don't need transparency. That's where this photograph comes into play. So again, Save for Web. So right now the preview is displaying a PNG 24, that lossless format. And if you look at the file size, that is a parent because this is almost 400K. The reason you don't want to use a PNG 8 or a GIF for this kind of photo in most cases is because of artifacting and loss of quality. Because this palette is restricted, you don't get such smooth gradients. You get kind of this stepped cardboard cutout look. Or you get this pixel diffusion effect that you can see here by her fingernails. But if we choose JPEG, we still keep all our nice quality, and our file size is much more reasonable at 61K. So I'll save this as well. So we've saved our 4 images. So our JPEG came out to 63K, our PNG 24 came out to 120K, our PNG 8 came out to 36, and our GIF came out to 31. But we can make these even smaller. There are a wide variety of image optimization services and software, both free and paid. I personally like to use Kraken. They do offer a paid version with access to API integrations, uh, as well as alternate methods of uploading files and further control. But they do have a free web interface. So this is the free online interface. You can see we only have one option of file upload directly from the desktop. In the paid version, you can paste an image's URL or a page's URL to crunch all the images on the page. They also offer 3 methods of optimization. Expert gives you fine-tuned control. Most people aren't going to need this level of control, and the first 2 options will work best. We'll start with lossless. Lossless optimization essentially means that the images are compressed without any loss of visual data. The only compression that's done is on the way the data is arranged or metadata being removed, things like that. So I'm going to upload our 4 images and compress them losslessly. So you can see lossless compression doesn't save you a lot on file size. The JPEG we lost 3%, the PNG 24 we lost about 6%, the PNG 8 we lost a little under 10%, and the GIF was not able to be compressed any further at all. So grand total we shaved off 13 KB from 243. So not a huge change. What you'll find most useful for compressing your pages is Kraken's lossy compression functionality. So I'm just going to reload the page and we'll upload our images again, but compress them with the lossy compression. And as you can see, the lossy compression brings the file size down significantly. You can see again that our PNG 8 didn't really lose much more file size, but there's likely not much further that image can be compressed without loss of quality. Kraken tries to only compress your images to the point where there's not a noticeable visual loss of quality. So you can see our JPEG, we saved 23K. Our PNG 24, we shaved off almost 60% of the file size at 70K. PNG 8, again, didn't lose much. Our GIF, we shaved off a little over half the file size at 16.87K. So I'm going to download these and compare them to our originals so we can see if there was any loss of quality. So I brought our two sets of images up side by side. The images on the right are compressed versions, and the images on the left are the originals. So looking at our PNG 8, I can see no change. Crisp edges, colors match, nothing looks degraded. For our GIF, the same idea. I can see no change in quality. For our PNG 24, again, I can't see any change in quality, and our shadow still looks great. And again, with the JPEG, I cannot see any loss of quality. There likely is a bit of additional artifacting, but unless someone is zoomed way in and going over your images with a fine-toothed comb, it should not be noticeable. So now you've learned how to optimize your images using best practices to potentially reduce your page loads by significant amounts. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, check us out at division1.ca. We post a lot of industry articles about marketing, branding, web development. Feel free to leave your feedback in the comments.